Today we're going to be talking about what I consider to be one of the best designer vanillas on the market. And that is none other than my girl, Burberry Goddess. So if you've never smelled Burberry Goddess, this, believe it or not, is one of the most sold fragrances in America. It is extremely popular. It's a very, very sexy, seductive scent. So of course people are going to love it. And this has been duped a lot. I'm gonna be sharing 3 of the most popular dupes of Burberry Goddess that I have in my collection and my issues with them and whether or not I think that they actually do a good job of duping it. So let's get started. First of all, if you've not yet smelled Burberry Goddess, what are you doing? You've got to smell this. If you like vanilla, you've got to smell this, no lie. So the scent profile of Burberry Goddess, like I mentioned, it's a spicy adult vanilla. This is not a gourmand vanilla icing kind of fragrance. The notes for Burberry Goddess are, it opens up with vanilla infusion, lavender, cacao, and ginger. In the heart, you get vanilla caviar, and the base, you get vanilla absolute. A triple threat vanilla, a true vanilla lover's fragrance. So I've got 3 dupes of Burberry Goddess. I'm going to rank them from least to greatest. Let's get started. In last place, we have Entice Me by Oud Wear. I feel like this one is not spoken about a lot. I think a lot of people don't really know about this brand or their fragrances. I think that they're all lovely. They have another one that's a clone of La Bamba by Carolina Herrera. And this one, when I smelled it, I was like, is it trying to be Burberry Goddess or is it trying to be something else? But I was recently at an event where I was able to speak to some brands and I just straight up asked them, is this Burberry Goddess? And they're like, yeah, it's kind of like Burberry Goddess with a twist. And I was like, okay, that makes complete sense. And that's honestly what it smells like. It smells like Burberry Goddess with a twist. It's sweeter than the original Burberry Goddess. It has more fruit to it, but it still has that Burberry Goddess DNA in the base. So notes for Entice Me. This is gonna open up with bergamot, wild berries, and crisp pear. In the heart, you get the lavender, lily of the valley, and in the base, you get vanilla bean and soft accords. Don't ask me what soft accords are. I have no idea, but that's what they said. So if you like the idea of Burberry Goddess, but you like the idea of it being smoother, softer, sweeter. You still have the lavender, you still have a little bit of a spicy feel, tiny bit from the lily of the valley, but more so lavender, fruit, and vanilla. Then I would say Entice Me is one to check out. I wouldn't consider it at all a one-to-one clone of Burberry Goddess. I think calling it inspired by Burberry Goddess or a Burberry Goddess clone with a twist is more fitting, but definitely still a beautiful, beautiful scent to try out. And I absolutely love their packaging. Performance is on point. I got nothing negative to say about her. In second place, we have what I would say is probably the most known, most popular clone for Burberry Goddess. And I'm talking about none other than Unhum by Lasafa. I am sure you have probably heard about Unhum by now. Unhum went very, very viral when it first came out. I think because, of course, it is inspired by Burberry Goddess. And it just smells really damn good. Now, Unhum is in my top 3 best Latafas. Like as a fragrance on its own, judging it just as Unhum. It is in my top 3 best Latafa scents that I would say if you're starting a collection, you don't know where to begin, get yourself some Unhum if you like vanillas and you want that vanilla to last on you all day long, get you compliments, project out into the world. She is your girl. But if I gotta just look at Unhum from a comparison standpoint of do you match Burberry Goddess? No. She doesn't. I am shocked when people tell me that they can't distinguish Unhum from Burberry Goddess. Burberry Goddess is so much spicier than Unhum. Unhum has like a whole extra cup of sugar added in the fragrance in comparison to the original Burberry Goddess. It definitely still has the Burberry Goddess like DNA in the base, similar to what I mentioned about Entice Me by Oud Wear. And I would also say that this has a bit more spice than Entice Me, so it's closer to Burberry Goddess. That's why it's in second place. But it is still much, much sweeter than the original. So notes for Unhum. This is gonna open up with ginger, mandarin, and pink pepper. In the heart, you get the lavender, praline, cacao, and jasmine. And the base is vanilla, amber, and musk. So unlike Entice Me, Unhum will at least add in that cacao and that ginger, which is in the original Burberry Goddess. And I think that's why it's closer and has a bit more of a spicier take, but it still misses the mark. Now, the closest to Burberry Goddess, at least to my nose, is still not a one-to-one to Burberry Goddess, but I think it's a tad bit closer than Unhum. I'm talking about Athena by Maison Alhambra. This fragrance is very interesting to me because when you look at the notes breakdown, it's like, how the heck did this manage to smell anything like Burberry Goddess because it's so different? But I think it did a good job of providing a bit more spice than Unhum and Entice Me. It's still very sweet, but it's a tad bit closer. So the breakdown for the notes for Athena, it's gonna open up with yerba mate, cypress, thyme, thyme, saffron, green notes, and fruit. In the heart, you get jasmine, iris, and rose. And the base is gonna give you vanilla, amber, leather, musk, vetiver, and cedar. It definitely does smell similar to Burberry Goddess. And again, even though those notes, most of those are not at all evident in the original Burberry Goddess, I think they do a similar job of adding in a bit of that edge and that spice from the leather to the saffron, etc., but it's still very sweet. Another really long lasting one, and it smells absolutely divine. To be honest with you, I would say that all three of these clones, Entice Me, Unhum, and Athena, they all kind of smell closer to each other than they do to the original Burberry Goddess. Something that I've noticed about Middle Eastern fragrances a lot of times, not all the times, but a lot of the times, is that it seems like for whatever reason, they tend to lean more sweet when they are duping a fragrance. It's like they're afraid that the original fragrance is maybe not mass appealing enough, and they're probably more so focused on, let's just make this fragrance as mass appealing as possible. And one of the easiest and quickest ways to do that is to make a sweet fragrance. It is scientifically proven at this point that people tend to gravitate towards sweet smells. So I think that a lot of these Middle Eastern clones are like, well, let's take the idea of the DNA, right? Let's get close to it, but then let's just add in a lot more sugar, because then most people are going to like it even more, especially when we add in that it's at a very low price point and it's very long lasting, which is nice a lot of times. But honestly, for a fragrance like Burberry Goddess, is the fact that it is very spicy, that you get that sharp ginger right in your face, that you get that cacao. That's what gives it its seductive edge. That's what makes it Burberry Goddess. And I mean, the fact that this is such a popular fragrance should be proof that, you know, it doesn't have to be super sweet. So I don't know if that is why all of them lean in that direction, or if they're just, for whatever reason, not capable of properly duping Burberry Goddess. Maybe it's that. Maybe there's something about the way Burberry Goddess is made that it is just very hard to dupe properly. I don't know, but this is one of those smells that I would go on record saying I have never smelled a dupe or a clone that is even close to a one-to-one of this. I've only smelled fragrances that are inspired by it, but take a left turn and go in a much more sweet direction. This is still the queen of that spicy, seductive vanilla, and no one is really coming for her throne. Let me know if there's another clone that you say, no girl, that is what Burberry Goddess is gonna smell like, this clone right here. And what do you think about Athena, Unhum, and Entice Me if you've not tried them? They're all gorgeous scents, but have you tried them? Have you compared them to the original Burberry Goddess? Drop it in the comment section down below.